Howdy folks, Kirk and Jason here with Kirk, Giordano Plastering. Today, I want to show you guys how to flash a window that they tore all the stucco off. Now granted, this is a 100-year-old house and it had parapets. Parapets are good for about, 70 years. After about 50, they start to get beat up by the rain and swelling and the sun. But if you keep a flashing cap on it, it'll last forever. Anyway, all the stucco had to be torn off here, and that's another story. But what I'm going to show you guys is, a while back we showed how to do a window. And what I did was we took 2 layers of paper, we put it up, then we took another 2 layers. They're spot glued, guys. This says Jumbo Tech 60 minutes. It doesn't, but it is spot, or it was spot glued. So it's 2 sheets at once. So you see those 2 sheets, guys. Anyway, you can do 2 sheets here and put 2 more sheets, and then actually you could only do 2 and go right to the top. But where we have a big indentation here, I like to be on the safe side. And so what I'll generally use is a straight flash. This stuff is made by, I think it's DuPont makes this stuff. They got their hand in everything, DuPont. And so they make this straight flash. And the reason I like straight flash is because it is, it has these 3 peels in the back. Say, it has a peel right here, meaning if you peel one, and if it shreds, that just means that stuff is kind of old. We were using it the other day, and I had some stuff, and the whole thing comes off. It just means it's old. But with the straight flash from, say, DuPont, and I might as well get this out right now, guys. You're not going to find straight flash or some of DuPont's other top-of-the-line products like Flex Wrap at Home Depot or Lowe's, I don't think. But you can find them at the material yards. And when I say material, the plastering material yards, like say Westside is the biggest in the U.S. If you go to Westside Building Supply, you can buy everything, all the stuff we use and then some, because they cater to the professionals. And we're so-called professionals. If you go to Oakland, you've got Dylan, juvenile at the counter. Not juvenile delinquent, but juvenile. These 2 guys know a lot. Then Eric's always down there too. Eric's been with the company like 20-something years. Go above Eric, you get the Tom Beretta, who buys all their supplies. And his job is to buy the supplies for the professional contractors like us. We're professionals. Don't try this at home. Okay, guys. What we want to do, guys, is go about, say, 4 inches past, and this stuff wants to stick to everything. That's why we're using it. So it wants to stick to everything. And the idea is use your fingers and get that in there tight. And get this tight up here. And how will this adhere? It won't adhere to a dusty surface, guys. What are the rules? Nothing adheres to a dusty, dirty, grimy, mossy surface. Nothing. Not even the strongest Sikaflex polyurethane caulking will stick to it. Spiderwebs might stick, but this stuff won't. So once you got this done here, and as long as you go over here a couple inches, you're good. And you go over here a couple inches, you're good. So how do we get this dust-free, guys? You can get it dust-free with, I'm using acetone. And what I'll do is, I'll take a rag and I'll switch gloves. This got my fingers. I'll switch gloves to these right here, because I don't want that all over my fingers. Did I switch? No. But I'll put the acetone on here. You can use gasoline, but you didn't hear that from me. You could use whatever you want. I don't care what you use, but you've got to wipe it a whole bunch of times. See all this filth? That's what come off. But I have to wipe it anyway, because when we go to tape these frames, if I put red tape to cover this window when we do the stucco, if there's dust, dirt, or moss, it's not going to stick. So we got to do this anyway. So once you got this straight flash on, now if you look under there, that is perfect under there. This cannot leak. So the water's going to hit here. Even if we are on the other side with the southwest, meaning the wind blows usually this way, the water will hit here and go down here, and there's a hole here. It's called a chamfer, I think. And the water's supposed to hit this drip and drip, but if it doesn't, it goes back here and goes behind the paper. So we don't want that. So anyhow, next thing we do now is we pull off these other 2 layers. These other 2 layers come off, and now it adheres. And this is pretty much bulletproof, guys. If you have a house that you pulled all the stucco off and you're not sure how to get those windows perfect, that's how to do it. I'll show you one last thing too, guys. You'll take your knife, you'll cut that, put a new blade on. Every day I start work, I put a brand new blade. And sometimes if I'm using the knife a lot, I'll put a second or a third new blade. Here's a little tip too, guys. Jay and Dan were already here, so they went way ahead of me, which is, wow, they got that fish way under there. I'll show you another little trick too if you really want to bulletproof them, and they were waiting for me. I said, leave me at least one window so I could show something about how we do that. So they left me this window here. All right, now you take another piece. Oops. You pull all that paper off. And this, you don't really have to do this, guys, but I like to do it this way so I don't have to use so much of the Sikaflex polyurethane adhesive construction sealant. That's a mouthful, huh? So you put this one here, and you're counter flashing the other one. Okay, so this one goes here. Now, all you do is you cut this piece out, boom, and you cut this bottom one out, boom, and now you're down, like that. Then you put your other piece of paper here, and they got this one tucked under this flashing. What they did is they found a little gap here, and they fished this under the gap. And so you put that there, then they put this one over it. I mean, you can't get any more bulletproof than that. Come on now. Okay, so then now what we do is we take this, come on downtown like that, and just yank these 2 little pieces off. And we repeat that on the other side, just like that. And lastly, folks, this is if you tear all the stucco off. A lot of people call me and say, man, I started looking at my house and they tore all the stucco off. Well, in this description, I'll put a few houses where all the stucco had to be torn off because there's no need trying to salvage 50% of the house, and they had about 80% bad here, so that's what happens with parapets. Anyway, you guys have parapet houses, climb up on the roofs and look for cracks, and if you see it, caulk them, and your house will last a lot longer, so you don't have to tear all the stucco off. Anyway, guys, I'm going to do the same thing here. Push this down, push this here, and then polyurethane caulking here. I advise you to get construction sealant adhesive. Mouthful, but that's the stuff that works. Sikaflex 1A is what I generally use for the last 40 years, so I stick with what works. Anyway, guys, my name is Kirk. I'm with Kirk Giordano Plastering. We thank you folks for watching, and as usual, we'll see you on the next one.
All right, folks, as always, thank you for watching another Giordano Stucco video. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe so we can keep making them. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.